but then I find something to love in every episode.
Yeah, totally. Joe. So, I mean, when I talked to we talked a little bit about, like, if you come on True Blood, you know you're gonna have to be naked, and it's just a given. And you sort of talked about that.
You're gonna like this weekend's episode.
But you told me that you're inducted into the Brotherhood of the Sock on the show. Can you go through the rituals of that and what that entails?
Yeah, they bring out this black velvet tray. Kind of creepy. And depending on the angle of the shot, you have 3 different choices. You have a sock with a drawstring that doesn't go on your foot. You have a plastic-backed thong.
Okay.
Which apparently breaks if you're running very fast. And the third choice is the man panty or manty, which kind of reduces you to like a Ken doll. You kind of look like a Ken doll with an arm. And depending on the angle, you get to put one of those on. And I, of course, was explaining this to my brother, who kind of half-jokingly said, "Dude, I'm going to sneak into your trailer when those wolves are on set. I'm going to switch your sock out with a sausage casing."
I've never been more interested in socks before in my life. But also interesting, are you aware that there's a Facebook campaign for you to play Superman? Are you aware of this?
I've heard of it.
Yes. And is that something you would be interested in?
I was a big fan of Superman underoos when I was a kid, so I'd be happy to bring them back into fashion. What do you guys think?
All right, well, before I turn it over to the audience, I want to ask Alan, can you tease anything about season 4? Like anything that we'll see?
Everybody goes to therapy. Everybody goes on medication, and everybody's really happy. No, obviously people who know the books know that there is a character who doesn't really know who he or she is. And becomes kind of a different person than we've gotten to know. And maybe someone who has hated this person doesn't hate them so much anymore. Yes, I'm talking about Mike Spencer and Sheriff Dearborn.
All right, okay, so let's take questions from the audience.
So as actors, what's harder to film? Graphic depictions of sex or violence?
Well, we have to make the violence. But generally, we are actually naked, so I don't know.
Touche.
Someone else want to talk,
Why don't you
please?
silence the panel?
I was just thinking it's all good. I mean, it's a good day at work.
Depends on what time of the day, I think.
I prefer to get naked earlier in the day and kill people in the later part of the day. Particularly, anything that's going to be really messy. Because then you're not stuck with it all over you for lunch.
Every single one of us who has to do naked stuff, and let's face it, it's most of us, basically starve themselves. Apart from Ryan, who is just this physical anomaly, joined very quickly by Joe on the end there.
I eat a lot.
And so I would say that doing the physical stuff is more fun because you get to eat as well.
All right, next question.
Working with animals can be extremely challenging. I was wondering, how do you all prepare yourself to work with the animals on set?
Skarsgård isn't so bad once you get used to it.
You know, it's funny because I've had to work with a few animals on the set. The best trained animal that we've had was the deer that Daphne turned into. And I don't know, the trainer had all kinds of toys and bells and like Carrot Top with all his props. And, but they seem to do a lot better than the dogs for some reason. I don't know why.
Or the cat.
We had wolves this season, and the wolves are actually really intelligent and they are very observant, so you have to be incredibly still around them. And my first day on set, Stephen and I got to meet the real wolves who we were going to be working with, and we were told things like, now, don't let them smell your fear. They're very powerful. And we met like the 6-month-old baby, that's all we could handle. And we went down and met the 6-month-old baby who promptly knocked me over just smelling my crotch. And
That was meanness.
that wolf hat. But the wolves are just extraordinary animals, fantastic animals, and to have the opportunity to be that close to that kind of animal was such a thrill. But they had to work with a hybrid, a half wolf, half dog, to do the actual acting bits because wolves are, like actors, too neurotic.
It was funny, the hybrids, they had all sorts of funny little tricks to get them to do things, and I had to work with one that had to cock its head and kind of look confused, and they would play ape noises. So I had this guy behind me, like, going, like that, and I'm trying to look badass, like a vampire.
All right, next question.
Touching on Season 4, Book 4, how much of a role will Hollow play in Season 4?
Well, we just started breaking stories for Season 4, and she's definitely she's a big character. Absolutely.
All right, next question.
First of all, thank you, Miss Harris, for writing this wonderful mythology. My question is for Kristen and Nelson. Basically, the writers have given you wonderful lines to say. What has been your favorite?
Why, there's so many good ones. But I've been hearing an answering to Hooker a lot, so I'm appreciative of the way Nelson delivered that. And my retort, that was a gift.
Yeah, there's so many. I personally like bitch every time I get to see bitch. No, there's so many. I can't
There's
even
so
watch.
many.
Yeah, they're just.
Right?
I mean,
every script is just
yeah.
full of gems.
Our writers are so incredible. I would have to give you 20 lines that are my favorite.
All right, next question.
This is a question for Mr. Alan Ball. Throughout your writing career, there's been a constant theme of death and loss. What makes you so interested in this theme?
Well, it's so much fun. I was, as I was growing up, I experienced death firsthand, unexpectedly, and there was a period where people were just dropping like flies. And obviously, my relationship with that has been kind of a big part of, I guess, what I'm trying to explore as an artist. However, I don't really see this show about